Hey guys! They say the forest of Vale Sangora never truly sleeps. Even when the moon hides behind the clouds and silence falls heavy on the moors, something moves. A breath in the dark. A step that sounds too deliberate to belong to any beast. You look around and, for a heartbeat, two pale eyes stare back. You tell yourself it's a wolf. It isn't. Maybe it's something that remembers being one. The locals call it Psoglav. There is darkness within their flesh, deep in the marrow of their crooked bones. And when they hunt, it isn't to sate their hunger or to feed their young. No. Their sole instinct is to kill, and then kill again. This is a beautifully rich creature to unpack, both mythologically and psychologically, and that's what we're going to do today. Based on the official description and concept art, let's find out what motivation and origin this monster carries. Who knows, we may understand it a little bit better after this analysis. Let's start talking. Unlike other creatures of the Vale Sangora we have already seen and talked about, Psoglav is not an invention of one legend. It's a ghost that slipped through several cultures, borrowing the best of all worlds. Its name is distinctly Slavic, pso for dog and glav for head. We can find a creature with the same name in Balkan folklore, particularly in Serbian, Bosnian and Montenegrin traditions. There, a Psoglav is a demon from ore that appears as monstrous bipedal humanoid with the head of a wolf or a dog, one baleful eye on its forehead, a mouth full of iron fangs, and often the legs of a horse. Psoglavs are also frequently depicted wearing armor or carrying weapons. They are cannibalistic and enjoy killing and eating humans. That's where we get a similarity in its behavior with another monster, a ghoul. Psoglavs and ghouls practice eating people or even digging out corpses from graves to eat them or their organs. The trick is that both ghouls and Psoglavs are humanoids, while this creature is definitely an animal. Psoglavs are also said to inhabit deep caves or strange lands rich in gemstones but devoid of the sun. However, Psoglav in the Blood of Dawnwalker has two different shapes that probably change because of the day-night cycle. We have seen a similar red glow before in one of the concepts, so I doubt that this new Psoglav will hide in the dark. A dissonance that doesn't leave me is that even though the name fits Balkan folklore, this monster doesn't fit any specific myth. Psoglav is supposed to be a man-eating demon. Demons are creatures of the underworld. Yet the Vale Sangora Psoglav is different. It lacks the theological purpose of a demon or guardian. It doesn't punish sinners or guard the dead, therefore it's not a hellhound. Psoglav simply kills for the very act of killing, which I decipher as the forests of Vale Sangora turn against life. And we will have these cute doggies for grinding and farming. In that case, let's hope they'll provide us with meaningful loot to use for crafting, gold, or experience at least. Knowing everything I've mentioned before, let's look closer at the concept art. At first, you might think you are staring at a deformed wolf, but the longer you look, the more demonic it seems. The first design shows a body stitched from decay, patchy fur, bone ridges along its spine, jaws too long with fangs too sharp to belong to anything made by nature. Its color palette is mostly black, grey, the faint gleam of wet fur. All of that speaks of rot, of something that crawled out of the soil. Or maybe a grave. Who knows how Psoglavs are made? The second artwork burns with red beneath the skin, as if the veins of this creature glow like embers, and its heart is infused with magic that keeps this rotting corpse alive. Knowing that Psoglavs eat humans, it could be some variation of blood magic and/or alchemy. This contrast, one corpse cold, another blood hot, mirrors the Psoglav's duality, death that moves and life that devours life. A funny thing is that both designs emphasize the ribs and spine, which highlight starvation signs as a deliberate feature of Psoglav's anatomy. It's not just a beast, it's an embodiment of a demon of hunger. I guess we can deduce that Psoglav represents human fears and anxieties about death and the unknown. What makes Psoglav terrifying isn't that it kills, it's why it kills. And the official law states that this monster doesn't need a reason. A demon of hunger doesn't need a reason, I think. Basically, it's the instinct that forgot its purpose. Nature always has a cycle, and here Psoglav is a predator without one. This creature becomes a symbol of uncontrollable beastly urges or the tension between civility and savagery within human nature. In psychological terms, Psoglav represents a corrupted drive, the very moment when survival becomes a compulsion. Its savaging behavior acts as a cautionary tale, warning against straying from the right path or disrespecting death rituals. It's what happens when rage and hunger outlive the thing that birthed you. That's why people of Vale Sangora whisper about it but never hunt Psoglavs. You can't kill a thing that has already been consumed by its own need. Alright guys, let's start a discussion. Even though Psoglav in Dawnwalker turned out to be a peculiar mix of multiple sources, I'm glad that it still carries a unique look at some point. I will treat Psoglav as a demon of hunger, as I said before, until the game comes out and we can learn more about it. Of course, I could be wrong, because Psoglav can still be a guardian spirit, a hound of the gods, twisted by vampiric magic, or an alchemy experiment that went wrong. We know about one such experiment, by the way, that failed, and it's Gargoyle. I'm working on the script for this monster, so remember to subscribe and hit the bell to watch this video when it lands on the channel. I'll be waiting for your comments and we can have a little chat, but that's it for today. Remember to have fun, play video games, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!